NASA Space Station on orbit status 1st of February 2017, Houston, you're hosting the Super Bowl. A pair of NASA astronauts on the International Space Station called down to Houston today as the city gets ready to host Super Bowl LE on Sunday. Johnson Space Center officials, media and visitors gathered at Space Center Houston to hear Expedition 50 flight engineer Peggy Whitson and Commander Shane Kimbrough welcome everyone as NASA participates in Super Bowl festivities this week. As NASA and the city of Houston welcome football fans, the Expedition 50 crew aboard the International Space Station continued advanced space research to benefit humans on Earth and in space. The astronauts explored how the immune system adapts in outer space by collecting their biological samples for the multi-omics study. The experiment, which began in March 2015 when the one-year mission began, is researching gut microbes and metabolism to determine how living in space affects the human immune function. Scientists and engineers are using the station as a platform to explore technologies for removing space debris from Earth orbit and returning samples from planetary surfaces. The crew members set up tiny internal multi-use satellites known as spheres to demonstrate capturing a space object and tugging it. Researchers are testing software to improve computer models to make space safer from space junk and improve planetary science. On-orbit status report. Multi-omics collections. This morning, the crew performed sampling in support of the JAXA multi-omics experiment. Various samples are collected and stored in Melfi 4 times throughout the crew's on-orbit duration in addition to a questionnaire and ingestion of fructooligosaccharides, FOS. The objective of multi-omics is to understand the gut ecosystem of astronauts in the space environment, especially focusing on the immune dysfunction, and to evaluate the impact of FOS. Robonaut Compact Peripheral Component Interconnect, CPCI, inspection. The crew performed troubleshooting on the Robonaut chassis. Previous troubleshooting suggested an issue with 2 cards that were returned and tested on the ground. The cards brought down were exonerated, and during today's activities teams received a good response from the Robonaut during first power-up. Indicator lights were as expected for a working Robonaut. Various power cycles were performed while trying to narrow down intermittent fault statuses. Eventually the team exonerated several of the cables. The cards were not removed from the CPCI chassis and remain installed, and all cables were left connected. Teams plan to analyze results to develop any forward actions. Robonaut is a humanoid robot designed with the versatility and dexterity to manipulate hardware, work in high-risk environments, and respond safely to unexpected obstacles. Robonaut is comprised of a torso with 2 arms and a head, and 2 legs with end effectors that enable the robot to translate inside the ISS by interfacing with handrails and seat track. Robonaut is currently operated inside the International Space Station, ISS. In the future, it will perform tasks both inside and outside the ISS. The Robonaut teleoperations system enables Robonaut to mimic the motions of a crew member wearing specialized gloves, a vest and a visor, providing a 3-dimensional view through Robonaut's eyes. Microgravity Science Glove Box, MSG, window replace. The crew removed the MSG front window and replace it with a removable window assembly. The new window will allow for easier access to the MSG through the front, rather than smaller access ports on the side of the MSG. Packed Bed Reactor Experiment, PBRE, Module Exchange. The crew successfully exchanged removed the test module in the PBRE located in the MSG. The crew removed most of the hardware configured in the MSG, then reinstalled and reconnected the cables and hoses. The PBRE investigation studies the behavior of gases and liquids when they flow simultaneously through a column filled with fixed porous media. The porous media or packing can be made of different shapes and materials and are used widely in chemical engineering as a means to enhance the contact between two immiscible fluid phases, for example liquid gas, water oil, etc. Packed columns can serve as reactors, scrubbers, strippers, etc. in systems where efficient interphase contact is desired, both on Earth and in space. Synchronized position hold, engage, reorient, experimental satellites tether, spheres tether. The crew conducted a conference with the ground team, then set up and check out the spheres, the work area in the Japanese experiment module, JEM, and the expedite processing of experiments to space station, Express, laptop computer, ELC, prior to testing. The crew will load the test-specific software to the satellites and execute the first of two test sessions with ground support teams. The goal of the Spheres Tether demo is to study the dynamics of a tethered capture object and a space tug chase vehicle, improving computer programs and modeling needed for removing space debris as well as capturing scientific samples from other planets. Space Station Remote Manipulator System, SSRMS, Operations, Robotics Ground Controllers are configuring for the SPX-10 mission by translating the Mobile Transporter, MT, to Worksite 4, stowing the Special Purpose Dexterous Manipulator, SPDM, on Mobile Base System, MBS2, and maneuvering the SSRMS to the offset grapple start position. Japanese Experiment Module Remote Manipulator System, JEMRMS, Operations, Overnight Robotic Ground Controllers in JAXA Space Station Integration and Promotion Center, SSIPC, will be maneuvering JEMRMS and Small Fine Arm, SFA, in preparation for Exposed Facility Unit, EFU, adapter transfer operations.